Imagine there's a cup on the table. For you, grabbing it is easy. You see it, reach for it, and drink it. But for a robot, this simple action is actually a whole mission. It has to figure out what is it, where exactly is it, can I grab it, how hard should I grip it, and how do I avoid knocking it over. So, when people say robots are smart, what does they really mean? Do robots actually think? Not like humans. Robots follow a loop: sense, think, act, and repeat. And that loop powers almost every robot. The easiest way to understand robot is with these three words: sense, think, and act. First, the robot senses the world, then it processes what is sensed, and then it takes action. And after that, it repeats the loop again: sense again, think again, act again. And that repeat is important because the world keeps changing. So what exactly count as a robot? A robot doesn't have to look like a human. It doesn't need a face, it doesn't need arms, and it definitely does not need to say hello human. A robot is basically a machine that can sense something, make a decision, and take the action. That could be a robot vacuum, a drone, a robo dog, or even an autonomous car. Different shapes, different jobs, but same basic idea: sense, think, and act. So, step number one is sensing. Robots use sensors to collect information. A camera helps the robot see, a microphone helps it hear, a distance sensor tells it if something is nearby, and a radar can measure speed and distance. A LiDAR can help create a 3D view of the surroundings. But there's a key point. Sensors, they do not automatically understand it. A camera doesn't know that's a chair, it just captures image data. So, sensing is the only first step. The robot still needs to understand what that data means. Step 2 is what people usually call thinking. But robots do not think like humans. Simple robots can use rules. If wall detected, stop. If battery is low, go charge. Rules are useful, but the real world is messy. What if there is a glass door? What if a person walks in front of the robot? What if the lighting changes? This is where AI can help. AI help robot recognize patterns and make better predictions. So robot thinking is not magic. It is processing, prediction, and decision making. So step number 3 is act. After the robot senses and decide, it has to do something. Move forward, turn, stop, pick something up. The parts that make these action happens are called actuators. It's a fancy word, but the meaning is simple. Motors, wheels, robo arms, and speakers can help a robot act. So the full loop is: sensors collect data, software decides what to do, actuators make the action happen, then the robot senses again because the real world may have changed. Let's use RoboVacuum as an example. It's a simple robot using the same core loop. It does not roll into the living room and say, "Nice sofa." It just needs enough information to do its job. It senses walls, furniture, dirt, and maybe stairs. Then it decides what to do: move forward, turn, clean this area, or avoid the sofa, or go back to the charger. It is not thinking like a person, but it is using the robot loop: sense, think, act, and repeat. That's why it can move around your room. That's why it can move around your room instead of driving in a straight line forever like a confused shopping cart. So why does this loop matters? This loop is not just for this video. It's a shortcut for understanding almost any robot. When you see a drone, ask, how does it sense? How does it stay balanced? What action does it take? When you see a robot dog, ask, how does it sense the ground? How does it move its legs? And when you see an AI robot, ask, what part is AI? What part is robotics? Every robot becomes easier to understand when you ask, how does it sense? How does it decide? And what does it do? So if we simplify the idea of how do the robots work, they do not think like humans. They run a loop: sense, think, act, and then repeat. Better sensors mean better information, better software or AI mean better decisions, and better actuators mean better actions. And the smarter this loop becomes, the smarter the robot appears. This is the foundation of robotics. In the next video, we will answer a question many people mix up. What is the difference between AI and robotics? Because they are connected, but they are not the same thing. I will see you in the next one.